So I'm Cindi Mcintosh with ScotWeek, and I am so happy to be on right now with Mr. Kyle Dawson, who's the president of Tartan Week New York, Tartan Day New York, or Tartan Week New York.
Well, I'm the president of the National Tartan Day New York Committee, but the events out here in New York City are called NYC Tartan.
Very nice. Well, I am so happy to be talking to you and bringing to all of our viewers yourself and myself, because I kind of feel like, we haven't been doing this very long. This is our first year for ScotWeek, and we're on the West Coast, and you're on the East Coast, and so we're starting out with all the celebrations there in New York is what we're meant to do, and then move on over to the West Coast for ScotWeek in the Los Angeles area. But I wanted people to be able to get to know you, and then also too, you'll be out on your social media channels with this as well. So I wanted to see, kind of what you want to talk about. Like, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been president of NYC Tartan Day?
I've been president. This is my fourth year. And I was the treasurer for a year prior to that. I got into the Tartan Day committee from the New York Caledonian Club. I've been a member of the New York Caledonian Club for 9 years. I've been their treasurer for 8 years. And I got into the club after meeting Leslie Denninger at a Celtic Fest Nas, it was called. It was like a Brittany Colonies thing. They put on this music festival, and me and a few friends went there, and I met the New York Caledonian Club, and Leslie Denninger was the chief, and she said, "Why aren't you a member of the club?" And I said, "That's a good question." So I joined.
That's fantastic. Do you have any regrets?
No, none whatsoever. It's taken me to places I never thought this community would definitely take me. It's a whole different world.
It's wonderful. And I think you're doing an outstanding job there, Kyle. You and your team really just put on such an amazing event. And I am so looking forward to coming and being with you in 2021 there in New York.
Thank you. Yes, we have a great team. We have a small core team, and then we have a much larger extended team that works differently throughout the year on different projects. And some people work year long, some people work 6 months long, some people work just for the weekend. But we have a great team.
That's fantastic. I was really sorry to hear, as you and I started talking, and I was trying to bring ScotWeek up online here in Los Angeles, and just knowing how much work that is, to get everything ready to go and organized. And then when this whole virus thing kind of took shape and form around about, I want to say, St. Patty's Day, maybe the week before for us, all of us, and just kind of like all of a sudden just realizing that we were going to have to postpone into later the year or the next year, and we weren't going to be able to hold our events. And I was feeling your pain. I know we got on a couple of times and we're like, oh no, what are we going to do? Because it is so much work and it's such a big effort by so many people, and you just get right there. And so you were telling me a little bit about how you you wanted to try to hold on to the parade, and the parade's never been canceled. Just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, no problem. We talked about the thought of possible cancellation, and it wasn't really that big for us at the point. We were talking about it prior to St. Patrick's Day. We were all saying, St. Patrick's Day is happening, and they've been going on for 287 years, and they've never canceled. So why are we going to cancel if they're not canceling? They're doing the same thing we're doing. And then when it came out that they weren't going to hold their parade, and they were put into a position where they had to cancel, we had to second guess ourselves at the same time. We were still 3 weeks away, and we were still on the cusp of, this is a full year of planning, a lot of effort, a lot of long nights, a lot of long weekends, a lot of work goes into this that a lot of people may not see from the outside. It's not like we start planning this 2 weeks prior and hold the parade. It's a full year of planning that goes into the Tartan Week events over here. So canceling was a painful thing that we had to do, but we do recognize that it is the best bet to do, and it is the safest thing to do for everybody. And we're happy to have our following, and we're happy to know that people are being very supportive of our decision to cancel, and that they are basically saying that it's going to be bigger and better next year. Everybody's going to come out next year.
Yeah.
It will be massive. So.
Yeah, and I know that, and it is tough, but I know we all made the right decision in the end. How painful it was for us, working day and night on these things for so long, and you most especially, and right there in New York right now. And I just wanted to, share with you our sentiments. We're just wishing that everyone is doing well and staying well. We're all kind of stuck inside, but we're all together in this in the world. And it's not so much that we're celebrating today as National Tartan Day, as it is that we're coming together as a people, sharing a camaraderie in a time that's very, very difficult for much of the world, and just trying to lift each other up and sharing some positivity and some light during this very difficult time. And our hearts and prayers go out to you and all the New Yorkers right now who really seem to be taking the brunt of it in this country. We're just really feeling for you.
Yeah, it's frightening to see how bad it is here in New York City, and to see literal refrigerator trucks parked outside of hospitals as makeshift morgues. It's something you never thought you would see.
I'm sure in your lifetime. So, and we have coming on a little later on today. So we're honoring, people from around the world, and people are giving their sentiments, and well wishes to people around the world. And we have a gentleman coming on a little later on from the Isle of Harris, Jamie McGowan, who, he's got a little candle shop out on the Isle of Harris, and he very quickly turned his candle shop into a hand sanitizer factory, and he's now shipping his product out all over, making hand sanitizers. And so there's also a lot of, I feel like, really good things going on, and we're seeing the best of humanity right now as well, and these little heroes that are coming out and coming forward. And we have our own also Craig McGinley, who's stepping forward and really helping as a celebrity there in Scotland to try to help the proper organizations get the facial masks and the hand sanitizer. So a lot of good going on in the world right now as well.
It's definitely surprising to see how much people have stepped up to be good humans. It's really nice.
It's very heartwarming. So anyway, back to Tartan Day, New York. So how long has Tartan Day celebrations been going on in New York?
So we've been celebrating here in New York City since 1999 was the first parade, technical parade. It was a large group or small group, wasn't very large, smaller group with a couple pipe bands, marched down the sidewalk from the British Embassy to the UN just to celebrate 1998, where the first Tartan Day was inducted April 6, 1998. So in 99, we celebrated the first time. And we got on 6th Avenue for the first time in 2002, where we had Sean Connery as our Grand Marshal.
I was going to ask about that. I played for him once here in Los Angeles. Very nice man, he and his wife.
Yeah, he actually used to live not too far down the road here for me.
Very nice. And you've had several Grand Marshals since. We just want to give a shout out to our very own board member, Mr. Graham McTavish, who I know has been one of your Grand Marshals there for the parade.
Graham was fantastic. He came to everything, talked to everybody, was just so humbled by all the attention he was given for Tartan Week. And it wasn't just for his stardom and being movies. It was for him being our Grand Marshal. He got a lot of people came out to see him.
He's just a super, super nice guy. Just genuine, down to earth, regular sort of person. And we so enjoy him. He's been instrumental here in LA with ScotWeek, and so we've been very happy to have him. And you also know Dr. Ken Mish, drum major. He's also on our board.
I do know Ken. Yeah, Ken's a great guy too.
Yeah, so we're very fortunate to have such great people on the ScotWeek board.
I think Ken may be one of the, well, there's a few people out there, but Ken is definitely one of the few people that outranks me in 21st century kilts. He has more than I got. That's a feat because I have quite a few. So.
You know Howie Nicholsby. I know Howie very well.
Absolutely, Howie's great. Howie's, actually, I'm wearing one of his kilts now.
Oh, very nice. Oh, wow. Wow. See, I've seen the ones he's been making with the pockets. I need him to make me something. I feel like as a female piper, I need something that looks, really nice. I have his lightning bolt kilt pin, and I did one of the Dress to Kilts here in Los Angeles. I think it was the first one that they had here. They only had 2, and that's how I met Howie. He was part of that.
Yeah, Howie's a great guy. Always willing to do whatever it takes to help us here in Tartan Week. Howie's been involved helping our organization for years. It's been at least 12 years that he's been helping the organization.
We'll give a shout out to him. It's Howie Nicholsby, 21st Century Kilts. I love what he does. It's kind of bespoke.
Don't forget his wife, Charlie.
Yes, that's right. And his little wee ones.
Yes, Noah and Otto.
Very cute.
Otto did a little video that of a virtual tartan day in Legoland. It was. Oh. He posted it, and I shared it out on Tartan Week. You got to check out the video. It's great.
That's very cool. So I wanted to ask you about, so one of our early conversations, we were talking a little bit about, I was talking about ScotWeek and what kind of drove us to go ahead and launch this here on the West Coast. And you were talking about Tartan Day there, and I think you were mentioning how sometimes you felt like you had to explain to people, what is Tartan Day?
Yeah, it's a, and it's no disrespect to St. Patrick's Day or the Irish or anything. Our Celtic cousins, we love them very much, and we celebrate with them all the time. As a piper, I did 11 parades in March, every March for years. I was always marching in St. Patrick's Day parades. I loved it. And it's amazing, but it's painful for us Scots when you have to explain the Tartan Day as it's like St. Patrick's Day for the Scottish. It's like, we don't want to explain to it like that. I get asked a lot as to what is Tartan Day and what does Tartan Day mean to you. For me, personally, the textbook definition of Tartan Day is it's a celebration in April of what the Scots and Scots Americans have done to help build this country. That is what Tartan Day was derived out of, what it was created to be. And for me personally, it's more of a family reunion, because there's nothing like Tartan Day or Tartan Week when it starts and you're out at the pubs on Wednesday night before the parade and you see all these people coming in that you see once a year, and it's hugs, it's I haven't seen you in so long, how have you been? And it's a big family reunion here out in New York.
That's fun. I just learned something about you, and I apologize, I didn't know that you are also a piper.
I am.
Isn't that funny where the world of piping takes us?
And yeah. When I started piping, I actually had joined a local band in Jersey that is a Irish band. Shout out St. Brendan the Navigator Pipes and Drums. They taught me how to play. They taught me how to pipe, and they put me in and believed in me and kept me going. And still friends with a lot of those guys today.
That's fantastic. Well, and I think, a lot of times, and I don't know if you have kind of a similar experience or not, but, when you're playing bagpipes, and I started early on in my piping career, which spans, I want to say 22 years now. And very early on, I was actually picked up by Jeffrey Carroll and Howie Nicholsby to go do Dress to Kilt at the Wiltern. And because of that, I started playing pipes for the British Consul General here on the West Coast. and then both British American Business Councils and the St. Andrews Society of Los Angeles and all these different organizations. And, you know, when you're a piper, you have to do it a lot or you can't do it. It's not an instrument you can sit down for any great length of time and then pick it up and do it with proficiency. So we're doing it all the time. And because we're doing it all the time and we're performing a lot, I feel like, you know, we are so entrenched, even more so in the Scottish culture, just because we're out there, we're playing pipes, and people come up to us and want to talk about Scotland and their Scottish heritage when we're out there playing in public, right? So, and this goes on throughout the week.
Yeah, and honestly, you're not lying. You can't put them down and not play for a while, because picking them back up is not as easy as, you know, riding a bike. It's not like riding a bike, you know. I started piping when I turned 40. So I was 40 years old when I picked up pipes for the first time. It's not a thing I did as a kid, you know. And then when I got involved with Tartan Week and got elected president, a lot of my piping got put on the back burner. I moved into New York City, and I've been doing a lot of work here in New York City, and getting out of the city to do piping was not the easiest thing, to travel all the way down into Jersey to go do parades. I did it for 2 years, but then I kind of put everything on the back burner. It's been 3 years since I really piped a lot. And then last year, I was talking to a very good friend of mine, Craig Monroe.
Very nice.
He basically yelled at me and said, pick up the damn pipes. Let's go. You're coming to Ohio. You're going to go to OSAS and you're going to do the piping school in Ohio, and we're going to get you back into it and you're going to love it.
Oh, good. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, I'm glad you're playing again. We'd like to hear you sometime.
Oh,
that'd
yeah.
be fantastic. Oh, here, Sláinte, we both have some Scotch going on here. Here's to Tartan Day. I'm sure we'll do that again near the end of our time. You know, it's amazing, you know, and something, if I may say, just because, you know, we are pipers, something that I'm always been very proud of in the piping community and the pipe band community around the world is that when you see the pipe bands, you will see a representation of nearly every culture, every country, lots of different ages and every walks of life represented in the pipe band culture, the Scottish pipe band culture. So it's an interesting thing. You have people from all over the world who maybe don't have any Scottish heritage at all participating in the competitions around the world in these pipe bands. And that's really something to see. And I'm very, very proud of that about the pipe band community.
I couldn't agree more. I think it's absolutely amazing. Highland dance community as well.
Yes, I was just going to say in the Highland dance community. And I was so, it just gave me chills to hear that your organization had 178 Highland dance videos submitted from Highland dancers from around the world. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
That's not an accurate number. So it's much higher. So when we did our virtual Tartan Day, Rachel, the head of Flings and Things out in Scotland, she gave me a call and she's like, she loves this. She thinks this is amazing. And she's going to push this out to the Highland dance community and see if she can get, you know, dancers to submit videos to celebrate, and she'll edit the videos together and put it out on, you know, later today, she's going to put the video out. And Rachel got 750 videos from around the world. Like Uruguay and Brazil and Argentina and Chile and Russia and South Africa, like everywhere. It's a complete global, everyone is getting involved globally.
You know, and this is something that if they're willing, I think that we should continue to put this out throughout the week, because I mean, what a phenomenal thing to do and to have happen. And I think, you know, we're going to look back on this time and I think we're going to be glad that we went ahead and did this virtual day because I think it's necessary for a lot of different reasons. But we're going to be just in awe of the people who've come to us from around the world. I mean, it's just amazing, the outreach and the voices, and that we have the technology to be able to do this is phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree. It was when we canceled and we all basically just like signed off of social media and dove into a bottle of scotch. You know, my this was full, you know, not too a couple days ago. But
I'm afraid to show you this one. So just look at my Irish friends. Look, this is a very large bottle.
that's all right.
Whoops.
Yeah, no problem. The halfway into a bottle, I just thought to myself that, you know, we have social media. Why don't we push this out to just get everybody just post their videos? Just post a video. You don't need to get your band together. You don't need to get groups and violate, you know, the whole social distancing thing. Just grab your pipes, play a song, you know. If you're an accordion guy, grab your accordion. If you play fiddle, grab your fiddle. If you just want to recite a Burns poem, or you just want to give a toast, you want to wear some tartan, you want to show off your little Scotty or your Westie or your Sheltie or, you know, your little collie or something, you know, do it.
Yeah.
Take a video, take a picture, post it up, say Happy Tartan Day. And that's, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not breaking social media or social distancing guidelines. And it's just giving you something to do and showing everyone else in the world that the Scottish community comes together. We are a global community and we do love our community.
We do, and we're very cohesive, and we're here to help. And I think if we can lift people's spirits for just one day, why not? I mean, it's getting rough out there, so let's do it. You know, we've got some piping videos coming in, which we'll put up as well. We had a submission. I'm very fortunate. Once a year, I get to play with the Black Watch up in Montreal.
Oh wow!
So the former pipe major Daniel Smith has sent over a video of him piping, so I'm excited to have that being played later. And it's great, you know, you get to hear from people and soloists and the dancers. So I want to thank you, first of all, for reaching out and extending the olive branch, you know, when we started this whole Scot Week, and also for just coming together to do this. It was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of last minute that we decided to do this, and it's really turned out to, I think, be a wonderful thing. And just I feel like, gosh, if we had planned even, you know, a couple weeks longer, we would have filled the whole week full of.
Honestly, I just feel like, you know, doing this by ourselves is just not right. You know, you have to include all the Scottish community. I've been reaching out to lots of organizations across the country and in Scotland and wherever I can find them, just asking them if they want to be a part of this, inviting them on Facebook to be a co-host of the event that we created, so that everyone's co-hosting and everyone's doing this together, because together is how we need to be today. It's just together is how we're going to get through it. And honestly, after doing this year, I think, why not make this a yearly thing? Why not do this every year? We can do our parade every year, but we can also do it virtually every year. Why not? We can share everything out, have people just share posts and pictures and everything every single year, saying if they can't come to the parade, why not? So share it out anyway. Share out a video, share out something saying you're here and you want to recognize and you want to say Happy Tartan.
You know, that's a great idea. And then you can put videos up of the different events you have and the different events we have, and be able to show that to people who aren't able to come. So
let me tell you, sitting here editing photos into a video for the past week for both New York Caledonian Club and for Tartan Week, I am absolutely going to be looking to get somebody to record the parade, at least videotape the whole parade, that we can release it later, or maybe more of a live broadcast as well. But it's something we're definitely going to be looking into for next year, so that we have these archives, so that we can share out actual videos of the parade. So that's definitely something on our list for next year.
Well, you know, I'll be there next year and I've got two hands. You put me to work.
Nice. Absolutely.
Kyle, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much.
No, thank you,
I love
Cindi.
you. Thanks for today. And I just want to say happy Tartan Day
Happy Tartan Day.
to the world. Cheers. Slanjava.
Sanjava.
All right. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.